Fitness CF is such a unique story and one that I can truly relate to because it was built on value. We've been successful in the Central Florida area for over 20 years.
Looking for a new system was a priority because in the fitness industry, it's incredibly important that we capture as many potential members. So we needed a system to make sure that nothing was slipping through the cracks.
The tangible impact has been a game changer. On a day-to-day basis, I can move or assign different marketing opportunities to help recuperate or direct future sales.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special interview with Joel O'Sullivan, Regional Sales Manager for Asia Pacific for ABC Fitness Solution. Joel joins us from Australia, where he's been based for a number of years, and it's fantastic to see that marketplace rebound so well throughout and beyond this pandemic. Hi, Joel. How are things in Australia?
Hey, Ross. Mate, firstly, thanks for having me. We don't really have much to complain about at all. It's been an incredible start to 2021 for us, both in the industry, but also sort of personally. We've been very, very fortunate when it comes to the management of COVID here in Australia, and consider myself incredibly fortunate to be in South Australia, where we've had some very minimal cases and have pretty much been able to go about our life pretty much unaffected, which I feel almost bad for, because obviously it's not the case everywhere in our region, but I do consider myself very fortunate, and our industry as a whole has seen an incredible rebound across the board. So yeah, nothing to complain about, mate.
Let's look at the last 12 months, because you would think that through this pandemic, Joe, nothing much would happen in our industry. There wouldn't be much. People would hunker down, businesses would close, capital would dry up, ambition would stop. However, we've seen the opposite, and in many ways, you've been part of that. We saw the acquisition of gym sales by ABC Financial in the US, a huge group, and congratulations on getting that deal away. How was that sales process, and of course, how was it through this pandemic?
Yeah, look, a very exciting time for us as a business. Look, it was quite a long process. Obviously, there's a fairly substantial amount of due diligence that had to occur on the ABC Fitness side. With any acquisitions, obviously there's some challenges on both sides. Us as a business, we had to obviously ensure that our staff were engaged and on board with the acquisition. And I'm happy to say that we've basically retained 100% of our workforce post-acquisition, which is really, really good. Look, given that ABC are based in Arkansas and Texas, obviously there's some time zone challenges and that sort of stuff. So some early mornings for us and some very late evenings for our ABC counterparts. But look, it's been incredibly beneficial for us as a business. Obviously, ABC being the private equity-backed sort of behemoth that they are, have been able to obviously bring in an initial capital injection, but also able to bring in, basically, everything that they know. I mean, they're so well known in our industry, and a lot of the internal processes, they do incredibly well. And, us as a business, we've pretty much sort of stayed in that sort of startup phase somewhat, you know what I mean? We operated very lean, even sort of 7 years in, we sort of reached that 5,000 customer mark, and we're still sitting under sort of 20 within our workforce. So we had a lot of staff that were doing sort of multiple roles, and with ABC sort of coming in, we've seen a bit more of an approach where we've got more sort of siloed roles. We're able to some more so specifically focus on things like products, customer support, customer success, etc. So, look, we've been incredibly happy with how things have been going so far, and incredibly excited at the future, especially given the additional 2 acquisitions that ABC Fitness have made recently with Fitness BI, but also TrainRise as well. So.
Well, look, a great year for gym sales as a business. Let's take the eye off the business itself and look at your clients, because, of course, you've always had a strong clientele across Australasia and now into Asia Pacific, and, of course, now globally, Joe. What were some of the client highlights for you in the past 12 to 24 months?
Yeah, probably the biggest ones for us, especially within the Asian region, would be Evolution Wellness Group. Obviously, we work quite closely with Simon and his team in getting that partnership done up. So that was announced, I think it was around April last year. So it was actually mid-COVID, and we saw actually that as an opportunity for us to, really sort of leveraged the fact that the staff members were sitting at home with not a whole lot of things to do. Obviously, they were contacting prospects and that sort of stuff from home, but we actually saw that as an opportunity to roll out the product quite rapidly. Within a 4-week period, we rolled out across over 163 locations. We found the fact that staff at home was actually beneficial for us because they had a little bit of extra time to focus on our product and do a lot of training development, that sort of stuff in their own time. So beyond that, we've also had Body Fit Training Group. They've seen some incredible growth. Cam and the team there, with sort of over 130 locations sold or territories sold. So that was another big one for us, and that's been a very exciting one. We've also had Fitstop Australia is one that's just come in recently. So they're seeing some substantial growth within our region as well, with quite a few territories sold. So, yeah, look, it certainly hasn't stopped down. A lot of people were saying that the market itself was quite saturated, but we're starting to see some of these new innovative brands sort of coming in the boutique space that are really taking Australia and the region by storm. So those are probably the three sort of largest highlights, but collectively we've grown by over 1,000 locations in the last 12 months. Obviously, the first 3 months was a bit of a struggle from a sales standpoint. We didn't really generate too much revenue, but the subsequent 9 months after that, we saw a significant increase in our overall client base. And yeah, we've seen some really, really great growth across the region. So.
Now, Evolution Wellness, BFT and Fitstop are three fantastic clients. For those perhaps watching this video, Joe, that don't know what gym sales do, can you just quickly walk them through in a couple of minutes exactly how you're adding value to those businesses?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're a SaaS sales CRM. To put it simply, we make it a lot easier for you and your teams to capture leads, nurture them throughout the sales cycle, and obviously convert them into ongoing members. So in addition to that, we provide really insightful data and analytics to business operators so that they can make more informed decisions within their business on where best to spend their marketing dollars, but also how productive their teams are being and what sort of output they're getting from that. We also assist in really automating the sales process. So being able to automate various pieces of communication as that lead sort of progresses throughout the sales cycle. I could probably go on, but I'll keep it short and sweet. So.
Well, look, you're now part of the ABC family. Let's maybe ask this question in two parts. What does gym sales bring to the ABC family? And at the same time, when people are actually looking now at their tech stacks, for example, how are they building their entire tech suite to meet their customers' need? How does gym sales fit in that tech stack?
Absolutely. Look, what we sort of traditionally see is a lot of businesses invest quite heavily on the membership management side of things. Now, obviously, that's a very crucial piece of software, don't get me wrong. But generally, what a lot of businesses don't consider is, well, how are we going to attract these members? How many members are potentially sort of falling through the cracks, and what sort of is that costing our business? So in terms of where we sit, we sort of sit at the start of the tech stack, so to speak, because our product really is responsible for ensuring that you maximize every single opportunity that's presented to you and your business. And then obviously we sort of flow through and integrate with a variety of membership management platforms where, let's say, for example, from a passive business standpoint, a walk-in walks into your club, they will open up the gym sales application, which will be branded to your business, enter in their information, sign a digital liability waiver, and that information will obviously export into your membership management system where, a membership representative can sort of finalize the sale seamlessly and quite easily. In terms of where we fit within the ABC sort of stack, again, we're sort of towards the front. So up until this point, I've been in the industry sort of coming up about 10 years now, and I've never seen a software, tech stack which really sort of covers every single aspect of club operations. We've got some membership management platforms which are really powerful and awesome platforms, but they've got aspects of the CRM, but it's not sort of as detailed as a product like ours. So we obviously handle sort of the prospect side of things. Then we've got the ABC membership management. And then with ABC's acquisition of Trainerize, we've also got member engagement. Member retention, that sort of stuff. And then we'll also have the acquisition of Fitness BI, which is obviously the business intelligence and data as a service essentially, which gives business or forward-thinking operators the ability to look at very detailed data and analytics on their business. So
now 1,000 clubs, you've obviously got a multitude of different types of clubs and different types of businesses, Joe, within that mix. When you're looking at maybe some of the mature versus some of the immature markets, some of the larger versus smaller clients, obviously they have their own pain points. They have their own requirements and challenges you're helping them overcome. If you were to reflect perhaps on a few clients within your portfolio, what are some of the kind of maybe more common challenges that you're seeing emerge from these? What are they asking for you? What do they need help with?
Yeah. Look, obviously the biggest one is finances. I think that's, fair to say. Obviously with COVID, membership numbers in some regions have been, significantly low. Obviously here in Australia, that's a different story. But probably the biggest challenge is really, how do we look at still taking full advantage of every single opportunity that's presented to us, but with a reduced staffing capacity? So how is your product going to help me to automate a lot of these tasks that I would, generally rely on a staff member to complete for me? We're seeing the marketplace, and we're seeing consumers become more reactive to things like, text messaging and emails now, people becoming less responsive to phone calls. So, how is your product going to assist me in being able to leverage those other forms of communication without necessarily having to have a dedicated sales team? So those are probably more so the smaller operators because we do see a lot of owner operators, the mum and dad type operators who they're doing classes, then they're also doing the administration, they're doing the sales, they're doing absolutely everything. So it's probably the biggest thing with the smaller boutique operators is exactly how is your product going to take away or alleviate some of those manual tasks that I'm currently sort of doing at the moment. And with the bigger sites, it's, okay, we're paying these dedicated sales teams. What sort of data can your product give to me so that I can look at, how much money we're spending on staff and determining whether it's feasible for us to continue doing that? What sort of analytics are you able to provide me, which will determine what my show ratio is of appointments, things like the quality of the conversations that my staff are having with these people. Even data like how long has it taken my staff to first contact these internet leads as they come through, which is obviously a crucial metric within our industry to ensure that we take full advantage of each opportunity that presents itself. So yeah, bigger type operators, it's really about data and analytics to ensure that their investments are getting them a good return on investment. And the smaller operators, it's really, how can Jim sales assistant sort of automate a lot of those manual tasks?
It's obviously a more mature market than perhaps some of the other emerging markets in the Asia region. But having a look across all the Asia Pacific region, Joe, what excites you most about this region? You've seen it evolve for these past few years. What lies ahead and what excites you most?
Just the opportunity. I'm going to sound cliche, but really just the opportunity for growth. If you look at, like you said, the market itself, it is quite immature compared to these other markets. But what that means is that there is just so much opportunity for forward-thinking operators to, make such an impact on the industry as a whole, but also the consumers. So it's probably the biggest, most exciting thing for me. I think there's still a lot of things that haven't necessarily been tried and tested within that region. So it definitely presents an opportunity for forward-thinking operators to sort of come in and make a really, really big impact. And what also excites me is we're seeing the government really acknowledge how important health and fitness is, within their sort of communities and that sort of stuff as well, which is really, really exciting. So yeah, that's.
Excellent, buddy. Well, look, I know that you just recently moved house. The family is growing in the future. You've got a new business card. It's all systems go for you, Joe. Maybe one last final question. What has the last 12 months taught you about life and love and business? What lessons have you learned? What reflections have you gained? How have you managed to get through the last 12 months and personally grow? Yeah,
look, I think for me personally, it's really been just don't stress. I think we've all got so many things going on in our lives at the moment. And all we tend to do is we sit up at night and we just stress about things like money and relationships and work and all this sort of stuff. But really probably the biggest thing that's got me through is just control the controllables. There really is no point in stressing about things that are well and truly outside of your control. Just embrace it, continuously try and improve, read more books, try and take some time out to relax, just see it as an opportunity rather than sort of a negative, that's probably been the biggest thing for me personally. So.
Well, look, Joel, congratulations to you and the team for the acquisition. Congratulations on flying the flag for Asia Pacific throughout COVID and beyond. Welcome to the ABC family, and look forward to working with you guys in the future. All the very best.
Thanks, Ross. Appreciate it.